Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Abhinav. I'm an undergraduate student at MACE. I'm a maker, and I'm also working as a ranger at Seed Studio in China. Before getting started, let me confess something first. I was never the most confident student in the room. I was never the most talented one either. And in fact, most of the time, I didn't know what I was doing. And I had a single habit that changed my life forever. I never asked myself, am I capable of doing these things? I always asked, what happens if I try? And that stubborn optimism changed my life. This didn't start when I was in my college. It started when I was in my school. So one day, one of my teachers said something that quietly rewired my brain. He said, opportunities are like hailstones. If you wait, they melt. And if you see one, you should go and grab it fast. He added one more thing that you will never know what you're capable of until you try. So that day, I made a silent promise to myself that no matter what, I will always try whatever that is I'm curious about. And I will always try everything I loved about. So I started tinkering or I started building when I was a child. I started by fixing toys, opening up remote controls, and taking apart things I actually couldn't put back together. No, I didn't do it because someone told me to, not because I wanted to add like impressive resumes to my portfolio, but just because I loved it. I wasn't trying to be an engineer back then. I was just trying to build things I love. Even today, I don't build things because they would look good on my portfolio, but because I feel like it's necessary. So there was this one night that changed everything. So I was on a train to Hyderabad for IBAHA competition by SAE. So it was past midnight, and I was not able to sleep. So I just kept scrolling through my phone, and because of network issues, Instagram and YouTube was not loading, and somehow LinkedIn was loading. So I just kept scrolling through LinkedIn, and that's when I saw a post. It was a post about an AI conference happening in China, Macau, and a workshop on TinyML for sustainable development, which was conducted by International Center for Theoretical Physics and United Nations University. So I thought I should apply for it, not because I was confident that I would definitely get selected, but because I remembered the hailstone line. So I applied, and I got selected. So when the acceptance mails came, I was reading it multiple times to check whether it was real or not. And weeks later, I was on a plane, and it was my first time flying. Actually, it was my first time even entering an airport. So it was my first time flying outside of India. I was the only participant from India. And as soon as I landed in China, my phone got damaged. So I was left with no phone. So that means no contacts, no map, no translation. And I was in a country where I couldn't actually read the signs. Everything was written in Chinese, and the locals were understanding only Chinese. So I was completely lost in China for half a day. I was just walking through the streets, completely lost. I was stranded. So I used my body language and sign language to convey where I wanted to go. And somehow I managed to find the hotel where I was supposed to go. And I reached there around night 8 o'clock. And next day, when I walked into the conference hall, I was surrounded by professors, experts, and researchers with years of experience. And then there was me, a student. I was the youngest person in that room. So for the first few hours, I barely spoke. And then I thought everyone there might have been a beginner once. So I started to connect to everyone. I started networking. I started to present my works and projects. And I spent almost a week in China. It was completely funded by UNU and ICTP. And on my way back, I had a connection flight from Hong Kong to Kuala Lumpur and Kuala Lumpur to Cochin. And the thing that happened is the Hong Kong flight got delayed by 1.5 hours. So again, I got stuck in Kuala Lumpur. The flight got missed. So I was stuck in Malaysia for one day. So sitting alone in that airport, I thought of something else. A conflict, an issue when systems fail, when humans and nature collide. That's when the first seeds of my project, Elitech, was planted. Not in a lab, not in a classroom, but in transit between places, between fear and possibility. Elitech addresses major issue our state is facing, which is human-elephant conflict. So over the time, Elitech became a fusion of TinyML and Edge AI combined with traditional wisdom and using bio-inspired deterrence method to mitigate the human-elephant conflict. And over time, it grew to address more and more issues like elephant corridor accidents, wild boar intrusions, and anti-wildlife poaching. And eventually, we received the support and approval from the Forest Department for real-world deployment of our project. And this project taught me that engineering is not just about building something impressive, but about building responsible systems. Yes, recognitions followed. IEEE CMD Humanitarian Awards and many humanitarian awards, international travel grants, and many conferences. But trust me, it's not the achievements or the recognitions that made me. It's the failures. It's those burned circuits. It's those unfinished prototypes. It's those rejected applications. And that optimism when nothing worked. That's what truly shaped me. I still remember when I was in my 8th standard, I got a chance to attend a workshop on Raspberry Pi. So that was the first time I got an exposure to things like robotics and AI. Back then, I was trying to build things using recycled material from toys or electric appliances or some kind of analog circuit-based project. That day, I was introduced to a new world. So today, I conduct workshop for students, not just for college students, but for school students also, because I believe exposure creates possibility. And I believe that one spark is enough. I actively contribute to open source community, sharing what I know, sharing what I'm learning, and everything. And one day, I was approached, I was invited by the Seed Studio team to join as a ranger at Seed Studio. And today, I'm conducting workshops on TinyML and Edge AI for Seed Studio. No, I didn't get selected because I was a master of something. I got selected because I was willing to share, or I was willing to share the knowledge that I was still learning. And that mattered. Yes, the achievements like the Humanitarian Award and the projects, the conference, and everything came from one single habit. I never waited to feel ready. I always just started. And that's enough. So step-on optimism is not blind positivity. It's applying when you think that you're not going to get selected. It's showing up when you feel like you are not confident enough. It's building when you think you're not qualified, you're not skilled enough to build it. It's choosing confidence and action over self-doubt. So you don't need to be a master or you don't need to be extraordinary to start. You just need to be stubborn enough to start. So you can just start building things and you don't have to be confident enough to start. Confidence is a byproduct of action. Trust me that once you start building something or once you start tinkering with something, confidence will come along. So if you're here sitting that I'm just a student or I'm from a small place or I don't have any connections or I'm not skilled enough to do these things, trust me, your future might be waiting for that one stubborn decision. The decision to apply, the decision to build, the decision to show up when you feel like you are not confident enough. And that stubborn decision is going to change your life forever. To turn curiosity into courage, courage into impact, and impact into purpose. Thank you.